The Opala story. Get ready to dive into the history of the Opala, the iconic Brazilian car that captured the hearts of generations and left an indelible mark on the Brazilian automotive landscape. From its debut in 1968 to the production of the final model in 1992, we'll explore intriguing facts, pivotal moments, and the lasting legacy of this true Brazilian road classic. If you're a car enthusiast, this is a journey you won't want to miss. Our adventure begins now. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. It's important to note that, due to the wealth of conflicting information about the Opala lineup, we've constructed our narrative using exclusively official Chevrolet materials. In this video, our aim is to present the official history of the Opala, providing a reliable and accurate account of its journey. Origins and development. The history of the Opala began with a strategic partnership between General Motors and Opel, the German subsidiary of the American company. The goal of this ambitious project, named Project 676, was to develop a luxury sedan that could meet the demands of the growing Brazilian automotive market while preserving the quality and European tradition of Opel. The team of engineers and designers embarked on a challenging journey, working tirelessly for 2.5 years based on the Opel Rekord C project. During this period, they faced numerous technical and logistical challenges, requiring significant transformations in General Motors' facilities and operations in Brazil. The first Opalas ended up with a mix of metric and imperial measurement systems in the same car. This project not only had a positive impact on the automotive industry, but also on the Brazilian economy as a whole. Between 1966 and 1968, over 3,000 direct jobs were created, and more than 2,000 domestic companies became suppliers to General Motors. Launch and impact. In September 1968, the eagerly awaited Opala hit the Brazilian market, marking the beginning of an extraordinary journey in the national automotive industry. With its elegant and sophisticated design, the Opala captured the hearts of Brazilians from the very beginning.
Rivelino, que tal o Chevrolet Opala?
É sensacional.
The initial model had 4 doors and featured 2 engine options: a 4-cylinder 2.5L delivering 81 AP and 18 kgm of torque, and a 6-cylinder 3.8L with 127 AP and 26.3 kgm of torque. The gearbox was a 3R speed on the steering column, and the front seat was a single piece with 3 seats. The braking system already included an automatic adjustment feature from the start, preventing the infamous low pedal as components wore out, and the tires were already tubeless. One curious detail is that Chevrolet stated in the manuals that seatbelts were optional, but the use of such a safety device will be richly rewarded with a heightened sense of peace and self-assurance when driving at high speeds. In addition to its engine choices, the Opala initially offered 2 versions, standard and luxury, with the latter featuring better finishes, chrome elements, and optional features such as disc brakes, vinyl roofs, and automatic lights in the glove compartment and engine compartment, catering to different tastes and consumer needs. The Opala's driving experience was celebrated for its power and comfort, making it a benchmark vehicle of its time. The public's response to the Opala was spectacular, and the car became a true sales success in Brazil. Its significance in the country's automotive industry was undeniable, paving the way for a story that would extend for decades. And the reputation of being a driver's car that the Opala still holds to this day is not without reason. In the early owner's manuals, there were passages such as battery charge indicator lamp. If it lights up while the engine is running, stop the vehicle, lift the hood, and inspect the engine compartment to try to discover the reason for the anomaly. Or also, in position 2, the ignition and circuits remain off, but the steering is unlocked. allowing maneuvers in the garage, pushing the vehicle. Furthermore, the instruction manual still showed how to adjust the carburetor and contained all the electrical schematics of the car. Evolution of design and technology. The Opala's journey is filled with remarkable changes in its design and technological advancements throughout different generations. Shortly after its launch in 1971, General Motors added the famous 4.1-liter engine to the lineup, boasting an impressive, for the time, 140 AP of power and the option for a 4-speed floor-shifted manual transmission. In 1972, the Opala underwent a design update featuring new details in the front grille and rear taillights. During the same year, the highly anticipated two-door coupe version was introduced, expanding choices for consumers and adding a sporty touch to the lineup. The two-door body style closely resembled that of the Opel Rekord C and was an even greater hit with Brazilians. With this initial round of changes, the offered versions became the Gran Luxo, SS, Deluxo, and the Especial, which was previously known as the Standard. Lastly, in 1974, the SS4 version was introduced with a 4-cylinder engine, but with 8 and 2 cabalem more torque than the standard 4-cylinder version.
É o Opala SS4. Custa menos que qualquer carro esporte da sua categoria. Tem um novo motor Chevrolet 151S de 4 cilindros. Dupla carburação, 98 cavalos, freios a disco, barras estabilizadoras, 4 marchas no chão, contagiros, bancos reclináveis. Alguns carros têm desempenho, outros economia. O Opala SS4 tem desempenho e economia.
In addition to the traditional 3-speed manual transmission on the steering column and the 4-speed floor-shifted manual, Chevrolet began offering the option of a 3-speed automatic transmission, also on the steering column. In 1975, the Opala underwent its first significant design change, and Chevrolet started dividing the lineup into Comodoro, Caravan, and Opala.
O Opala 75 chegou. Suas linhas são inteiramente novas, bonitas e agressivas.
The Commodoro featured a more refined finish, a distinctive dashboard with a tachometer, and optional features like air conditioning. On the other hand, the Caravan was the 2-door station wagon version and featured folding rear seats, further increasing its luggage capacity. This series also introduced the dual-barrel carburetor, which delivered 95 HP in the 2500 engine and provided a 1.8 kgm torque boost compared to the single-barrel carburetor. Meanwhile, the traditional 4100 engine had 144 horsepower, while the 4100, known as the 250S, reached 167 HP and 32.5 kgm of torque. A curious fact from this era was Chevrolet's claim that up to 20% of the so-called blue gasoline could be used in the 250S engines. This gasoline was a legend of the 1970s and 1980s and had a higher octane rating than the standard one. In 1979, the SOC car was created by the Brazilian Chevrolet Dealers Association, based on the US NASCAR model. Drivers raced with Opala's 250S, which was a brilliant move to solidify the car's sporty image. Lines and right angles in the 1980s. In the early 1980s, more style changes emerged, departing from the rounded look of the 1970s and embracing square lines with new headlights and taillights. Chevrolet now divided the lineup into Opala, Caravan, Comodoro, and Diplomata. The Diplomata model came with various luxury features, such as an automatic radio antenna, power door locks, and electric window controls. In 1982, Opala adopted electronic ignition for alcohol-powered engines, providing quicker and more reliable starts. In 1985, the Caravan Diplomata was introduced. This generation brought numerous innovations and improvements, including better adjusted seats, a tilting steering column, an armrest embedded in the rear seat back, retractable seat belts, externally adjustable side mirrors, and the high beams were no longer activated by foot but by the directional lever on the steering column. The dashboard also became more modern, aligning with the car's square lines, and a central console with a cassette player and air vents for rear seat passengers was added. Final version, the farewell. In 1992, Chevrolet launched the last version of the Opala, a true milestone in the history of this iconic car. With a new, more modern design, body-colored wraparound bumpers, and impeccable finishing, the Opala demonstrated that it continued to evolve with the times, remaining relevant and desired by enthusiasts. The new version of the Opala also brought advanced technological features, such as a modern alarm system and electrically operated mirrors, providing more convenience and safety to its occupants. The Caravan, on the other hand, received improvements as well, coming from the factory with stylish roof rack supports and a kit of removable bars, enhancing its versatility. In this version, a 5-speed manual transmission with overdrive on the 5th gear was introduced for the 6-cylinder engine option, improving fuel efficiency. The Opala has always been a car that captured the hearts of Brazilians over the years, becoming a true symbol of elegance, performance, and comfort. With its final version, Chevrolet closed a cycle of success, concluding production after reaching the impressive milestone of 1 million Opalas manufactured.
O Opala já cumpriu a sua missão entre nós. A sua história abre novos caminhos para produzirmos veículos ainda melhores. Quero, portanto, agradecer a todos aqueles que participaram e fizeram do Opala veículo de realmente grande sucesso.
For the countless fans and enthusiasts of the Opala, its farewell was a moment of emotion, reminiscing about the stories lived behind the wheel of this car that became part of Brazilian automotive culture. The Opala may no longer be in production, but its legacy lives on in the streets and in the hearts of those who had the opportunity to experience driving this classic of Brazilian roads. Today, the Opala is more than just a car. It is a symbol of a golden era in the Brazilian automotive industry, where passion for automobiles and the pursuit of excellence resulted in a true four-wheeled icon. The Opala will always be remembered with affection and nostalgia, forever cementing its place in the history of Brazil and in the hearts of car enthusiasts. The journey through the Opala's past comes to an end. This was the story told through official Chevrolet documents. We hope you have enjoyed this trip through time, and, if you haven't already, subscribe to not miss the next videos, telling legends and myths of the Opala and other memorable cars. Don't forget to share your Opala story in the comments. We want to hear about your experiences and memories with this classic. Until the next journey through time.